Hey everyone, it's Matthew here from the Business Builders. I'm here with Dustin, one of our existing clients, and he's just going to be sharing a little bit about his experience. You haven't been paid or held ransom to give us a good review, have you?
No.
All right, cool. Well, I guess I'd love to just hear that, what's your story and what got you into the Business Builders, and what made you want to do e-commerce in general.
My father and I have been tossing around ideas about what we could do to go into business for ourselves for quite some time. And after looking at several different options in that regard, brick and mortar businesses, things of that nature, I came across an ad and reached out, and it was a pretty seamless experience. From there, we liked what we heard. And ultimately the goal is to be able to have this support my family and be my own boss and grow from there.
Yeah, awesome. What are your next 12 months worth of goals, and what are you looking to achieve?
I mean, really what I want to achieve is an understanding of how to drive sustainable success.
Okay.
It would be nice to make a good chunk of money and retire from the real job and do this full time. But ultimately, what I want to do is have some expertise and know that this can be sustained. It would be nice to be a millionaire a few years down the road, but that just being able to control my time and have financial freedom is ultimately the goal. There's not really a number attached to that. It's more about the lifestyle itself.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's cool. I think for me it was the same thing. I just maybe not necessarily wanted to become wealthy immediately because I knew that it was going to be a journey, but I wanted that time freedom to just be like, I'm going to take the day off, I'm going to go play with the kids, and I would be able to do that. Or I want to just go here and just hang out, just to have the flexibility. When I was working in the police force, there was
Absolutely.
no flexibility. I think I even struggled to get leave for my wedding. They were like, why do you want leave for the wedding? I was like, I couldn't believe I had to explain that. And I was like, because when you get married, you have to go on a honeymoon, anyway. So it was tough, man. I totally resonate with that story. Well, so you were looking for an opportunity. Why did you go with e-commerce? Why did you choose e-commerce?
The biggest thing was just a minimal financial investment up front. To buy an established business, that's a big chunk of capital.
Yeah.
And being able to have a lower upfront investment and something that I can do on the side of my day job without interrupting those hours and still do a good job was very appealing.
Yeah, I guess if you buy a brick and mortar business or a business that's already running, you'd probably have to be there full time. So there would be that massive risk transition, period. Whereas with e-commerce, you can kind of just run it when you have the time. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, I lost you for a second.
I lost you there for a minute, but now you're back.
No, that's all good. So tell me, what was so you looked for an e-commerce business, you found us. What made you want to pull the trigger with our package compared to everything else out there?
Honestly, we didn't look at any other e-commerce packages.
Okay.
I guess I poked around a little bit, and I mean, what I found was people who would do something similar, but then you're kind of joined at the hip, sharing revenue or sharing profit for life. And business builders didn't have that term, I guess.
Yeah, cool. And so when you got started with us, how was your experience from like getting onboarded to like us designing the website for you, getting the suppliers on board for you, and all that kind of stuff? How was that experience and journey through that?
It was very smooth. The website was beautiful. I was able to get in and easily, change some things to my liking once it got released to me. But all the bones were there, and it's been a pretty seamless transition. Definitely a learning experience. Getting suppliers on your own isn't just picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, I want to join you," and them saying, "Okay, let's go." But it's been smooth.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, the suppliers is always a bit more of an intimidating one. But yeah, so with the website, with the coaching, how have you found the coaching? So our coaching is all done by email. How have you found the coaching? Did you find that the things that you were advised on were helpful, or were you found that once, because a lot of people think like once you get the business and then we've been fully paid, we just don't care anymore. Well, how have you found that experience?
That's been smooth as well. I mean, obviously there's a bit of a delay because I'm in the States and you're in Australia, but that's kind of to be expected. The answers to my questions have always been thorough, and if I have follow-up questions, it's a pretty smooth back and forth until I get what I need.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, so you haven't started advertising yet. How many have you made any sales yet?
We made 2 sales.
Okay.
So that was exhilarating is a good word for it. It's kind of fun when that happens, especially when you're not launched on ads yet. Looking forward to seeing what happens when the ads are running and things happen a little bit more consistently.
Yeah, 100%. Well, can you tell me the order value of those 2 sales? What was the amount that came in?
The first one. The first one I had to refund.
Okay.
Because I didn't have my inventory set up appropriately, but I called the lady, I talked to her. That one was $1,200. The second order was $700, so it was a little bit smaller, but she did reorder, and then the next order was about $400.
Okay, cool. So that second lady reordered from you again?
The first lady reordered from me.
Oh, okay. After
I refunded her, and then she stuck with our store. A new customer came in last week. It's scheduled. His order is scheduled to deliver today, actually. So I've been tracking that through. It's supposed to be delivered today.
Oh, awesome! And what was the order value of that?
That was the $400 order. So $700 was the first one that actually went through, and the second one was $400.
Oh, okay, cool. And so that means that you made $1,100 even without advertising so far?
Yes, that's $1,100 in sales.
$1,100 in sales. That's awesome. Well, that's really cool. I remember when I first got my first sale, we weren't as good at this as what you see now. And when we got our first sale, it was like a $140 cupboard. And I remember I was crying because I thought we made it, I was like, honey, we made it, And then turns out I also had to refund that person. I threw my tears for a $30 profit that I wasn't even going to keep. So that was
yeah.
I think that's literally the rite of passage for all of our clients. They get their first sale and they're messaging me I got my first sale, and then it turns out that they have to refund them because they didn't manage their inventory correctly. So what you're saying is no surprise to me. It basically happens to absolutely everybody. And then the second sale, they're like, okay, I need to get in control of my inventory, and then the second sale is more legit. So yeah, what have you found was what would you find is the main challenge that you've been facing lately in terms of the business?
I mean, manually uploading from suppliers is a time-consuming task, and then staying on top of inventory for suppliers that are manually uploaded is also a time-consuming task. I haven't done anything to streamline that yet. I did find a supplier that has an API integration, and that's very nice, knowing that prices are going to be synced and inventory is going to be synced. So there's not as much upkeep on that. But yeah, manual work is all going to take time, and you're going to have to be diligent to stay on top of it, so you don't have to refund people's orders.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably the main issue. Like when you're first getting started, you have to do everything yourself. Whereas once you start, doing, a little bit above $2 to $3 grand profit, then you're able to then start to outsource those activities to other people, like a virtual assistant to be able to do that for you. And that's when you're like, oh wow, I can actually focus on other things that I personally find important to growing the business. But I would recommend going on Fiverr for that, to be honest. And I can show you how to do that, in our coaching. But last question.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I actually already sent you a question about that, and you made a video for me, and I know how to do it. I'm just not there yet. I don't want to do that until the profit centers support it.
Okay, cool. No, that's awesome. No, and that has its benefits. You're able to kind of do things yourself and learn exactly how to do it before you give it to someone else to do, which is cool.
No doubt.
Last question. Thank you for your time. The last question that I had for you was, if you could go back before you joined our company, would you do it again? Would you pay the money again, join the program again?
Absolutely.
Buy the business?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Ask me again in 9 months.
Yeah. That's when you'll be like even more bold and more stressed out, Hopefully not.